Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. This is Daily Trade Analysis with a quick market update for today, June the 2nd. Today is an important day because we got new data, super important for the Fed. Unemployment rate ticked higher for the first time in a lot of months from 3.4 to 3.7%. We were expecting slightly higher, 3.5. So unemployment going higher is actually the goal of the Fed. However, non-farm payrolls came super higher. We were expecting 190,000 and we got 339,000 with the same participation rate and earnings flat month over month and slightly lower year over year. On the private sector, 283 still way higher than expected. So one positive, employment in the direction of the Fed, and non-farm payrolls in the opposite direction of the Fed goal. So, well, what the markets did? Well, they chopped out a little bit. We started showing some signs of acceptance down here. This is the time in which we got the unemployment and the non-farm payrolls. We go lower and into the open. As always, this is a nice setup, but I didn't want to take it today. Pre-market pivot into pre-market highs higher. This daily level at 14,570 on the Nasdaq was quite interesting because it's the resolution of this pullback, higher low, bull flag into the gap. The gap entry is 14,656 and gap fill is 70.76. Actually, I was looking for that kind of move, but the economic data is not as good as a lot of people was expecting. One positive, one negative, so mixed sentiment, and that's why we got this. After this reversal, this huge reversal, not the arrow, huge reversal up here. I think a lot of longs got scared. Pre-market low provided a nice opportunity with a higher low into a nice move up, but slow grind of death again. And we are now consolidating up here. So we are actually in here in nowhere land on a Friday with mixed sentiment. I don't think this is worth. So basically we have no edge today. But at least Nasdaq is 0.75% in the green and the S&P is actually the one that is stronger today. This wedge resolution into the 1030, you get this wedge triangle resolving higher and point of control is actually up here. On the daily, we are putting a nice breakout. And I think that's why the S&P is actually higher and stronger than the Nasdaq. Nasdaq already broke out quite a lot, and the S&P was lagging behind. What about the small caps? Well, actually, small caps gapped higher, a nice gap into the rejection. So it's actually risk on in play. Bitcoin is not showing that, but financials or banking sector are all in the 2, 3, 4%. XLF is 2.21%, so nice day today. Energy is also having a nice day with crude oil 1.85%. We resolved to the downside in this move, but we are now establishing a higher low into the trend line. I don't know what to think about. Demand destruction is in play for crude oil, but it is super manipulated. One of the things that I would like to highlight for today is that dollar is still trying to be bullish. This is a pullback on this pivot that we broke out, and well, it's still in play. Dollar in the green, yields in the green, 3% the 2-year and 2.28 the 10-year. I mean, yields still going higher, and if we check, this is June. In June, we are pricing in already some kind of a pause, but on September, we are pricing in a hike, 25 basis point hike. So be really careful because the situation is again changing a lot day by day, week by week, depending on the data that we are getting. But today is quite a tricky day. Gold is seeing weakness, and at the same time, copper and silver are diverging. So copper with this sell-off of the top on this descending trend line, Tesla pushing while Nvidia is pulling back, still chopping out up here at these unbelievably overbought levels. Tesla is squeezing higher to this pivot that we had at 217. Is driven by a lot of options manipulations and options expirations today. So be really careful if you are trading it. As another thing that I would like to highlight is that I was expecting way more from Apple. Apple is at, let me tell you, is right now is at 1% of all-time highs at 183. So, well, I really thought that if Apple was pushing on decent economic data, we might have also a possibility for the gap fill on the Nasdaq and the breakout on the S&Ps that we got either way. This breakout on the S&Ps, let's see the continuation chart. S&Ps are really pushing higher and we are approaching 4,300. This pivot from August last year that is at 43.27. I mean, it's quite handy. So overall, choppy day, mixed day. We are seeing moves. We are seeing green in some sectors, but I was expecting more. Honestly, I was bullish intraday today. I'm still expecting Nvidia to lead a huge sell-off like this one. This was starting to look nice. I'm expecting Nvidia and the AI bubble to burst at some point, but looks like still strong. So at least we are getting healthy pullbacks. I mean, it's still super higher and it's quite overextended and overbought. That's why investors are not in this kind of, are not, the money from the investors are not coming in. This is since the start of the year, basically. And there's a lot of money in the sidelines. That's where I'm concerned. And the fact that more and more we are hiking and hiking and hiking. At some point, tech will burst because it hates interest rates. Looks like Nasdaq is pushing due to, let me check, Apple is looking decent. But anyway, we started selling off a little bit. Now we are recovering. From the open is not as good as it may think percentage wise, but we were gapping up in a lot of names, not only in the Nasdaq but also in the S&P. So, well, if you were long, congratulations. But I think today is quite a bit lackluster in my opinion. So it is what it is. For next week, oh boy, Nasdaq is pushing. For next week, let me tell you. Let me show you. Next week, we have ISM Services PMI on Monday. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, we have some stock exchange and NBA mortgage rate. Thursday, jobless claims, and Friday, nothing. So next week is nothing burger. So we might see continuation due to the lack of news, lack of good news and bad news. So market will continue its momentum, its direction. So I expect next week to maybe play sidelines, play sideways, and chop around a little bit. We are still at critical levels, so the debt ceiling raise is already done, it's already voted, it's done. US will not default. So that's one less thing of uncertainty. So we are coming back to the inflation, to the recession topics, and we are still overextended. So mid-term, I'm still bearish. But if Nasdaq, if tech markets are willing to push, I will try to day trade in that direction. But I'm not investing at these levels, and I'm not the only one. I'm just a small ant in these huge markets. There's a lot of money on the sidelines, and I want that money to be part of these moves. I want healthy pullbacks. I want moves for long-term positions to be taken. I want risk on to be really pushing, and I want certain metals to show a worldwide economy recovery, and also staples, healthcare, and all these defensive sectors to be in the red quite a bit, to really show signs of outflow from those sectors and rotation into breadth. So what is breadth? Breadth is basically the amount of stocks that are part of this move. This is RSP, the equal weighted ETF. So we are seeing actually decent breadth today. This is a nice move to the upside on the overall market. If we check the percent of stocks that are above the 200-day moving average, we moved a little bit higher, but we are still at 40%. I want this to be at least 50% for all the market, for all the stocks in the Russell, in all the markets, to be really pushing, not only a handful of huge tech companies just carrying and leading the market. I don't want that, because that is called a bubble. And that's all from my side. Let me check last look to the Nasdaq. Well, we still have this. Be careful up here, because there will be a lot of sellers up here waiting for you. You need, let me tell you, my plan, if I was to continue trading or looking at the markets, I would like to see Apple pushing all-time highs, because if Apple, with almost 8% of weight in the S&Ps, pushes this crazy magnet level, the sentiment momentum will increase like a lot, and we might see a squeeze higher also on the Nasdaq for this gap fill. I'm really interested in this gap fill. For next week is certainly a target of mine for the entire week. So let's see. But for me, the week is done. Friday afternoon, I just want to close it early. So that's all from me, from my side. As always, thank you for your time. If you found this video useful, please remember to click the like button and subscribe to the channel to receive notifications when I upload new videos. Remember that every day I upload new videos for you to take my approach on fundamentals, technical analysis, and the markets. My ideas, my understanding, and for you to just follow someone with experience and that is willing to share all his experience with you. I would like to continue doing this, so please support the channel and I will be more than happy to continue doing so. So thank you for your time, and as always, Fridays need to be really disciplined. If you are in the red, I think you have to throw the towel. If you're in the green, just take your gains and enjoy the weekend. Risk management is first. Thank you everyone, stay safe and see you on Monday.